So should we get to President Trump's remarks to the UN?
Sure. Yeah, we have that. We have health care.
What? Yeah.
Which the Republicans are once again trying to pass an absolutely terrible bill that will. This one, I'm curious. What the over/under may be what 13-14% for its approval rating.
Yeah.
And they just never learn. It's really incredible. I always talk about them putting their hand on the hot stove. Like we've been mocking Donald Trump for doing what only 33% of the country wants. And which, by the way, Philip Bump's now saying his approval rating's gone up 3 weeks in a row for the first time. I wonder why. Because he's not like trying to constantly aggravate 200 million people. It's now the Republicans.
What's wrong with them?
Who are they're not even on Steve Bannon's 33% plan. They're on their own 17% plan. Every one of these health care bills are horrible. Everyone is worse than the last, and they're going to do it again. And once again, they're saying we're going to reorder 1/6 of the economy, and we're going to rush it before we have the Congressional Budget Office actually giving us a score. And so we don't really need a CBO score. And we're going to get to this. This is going to be the second news story, but we just got to talk about this for 1 second. Willie, it's unbelievable, these so-called conservatives saying we're going to reorder 1/6 of the economy and have absolutely no idea what impact it's going to have on all of America, on their health care. It is the most radical thing anybody could do.
And remember, they have a real deadline of September 30th. So that's next Saturday, I believe. It's about a week and a half when they can use reconciliation and get a simple majority, get 50 votes and have Mike Pence break that tie. So they have a ticking clock, which means they're not going to look at it appropriately. They're not going to have the appropriate CBO scoring and the hearings that you'd like to see if you're going to reorder the economy. And if you look at the bill, it's not clear to me what they've changed to give someone like Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski, who objected to the last bill, reason to vote for this one.
I mean, how can you vote for something that once again has all the worst qualities of the last health care bills? And again, I mean, imagine, we always play this game. What if Democrats had done what Republicans had done? Imagine what the press would say, right? Mark, we've been doing that for 10 years. Imagine if Democrats tried to pass a bill in 7 or 8 days, reorder 1/6 of the economy, and rush through it without a congressional budget office. Republicans, right-wing radio, everybody on the far right would be going absolutely ballistic right now.
And if you ask why would any of the Republicans who opposed the previous bill support this one when, by all indications, it doesn't meet their objections, particularly in covering fewer people, it's because of the deadline that Willie pointed out. A lot of Republican donors, some Republican activists say this is the last chance to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
With a 13%
with a
plan.
bill that has not gone through regular order and which has a lot of the same problems as the original legislation. And by the way, even if the Senate does this, it's not entirely clear that the House would pass the same bill. And so they may be going through all this political torture for something that will never get to
And
the
how in the world,
desk.
Mika, can John McCain, who showed the courage that he showed before, why would John McCain suddenly decide, oh, Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump have a deadline? So
I'm worried about that.
I'm going to have people remember me for passing a health care bill that strips health care coverage from tens of millions of people, and something that we do radically without even looking at a congressional budget office, without doing regular order. John McCain was so right when he talked about regular order.
Yeah.
That's what you want to know. One of the things, along with gerrymandering, that has made Washington as sick as it's been over the past several years politically, it's no regular order. They get 2 or 3 people in a room, they draft up something, and then they shove it down the rest of Congress's and the American people's throat. I highly doubt that John McCain is worried about these false deadlines and is going to let his legacy be that he reordered 1/6 of the economy
without thinking about it,
in such a reckless, radical, irresponsible way. And I just don't know why my friends in the Republican Party keep going back and doing the same stupid thing over and over again this year. It's as if they are just desperate to make Nancy Pelosi Speaker of the House.
well, then that would be helpful.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.